Yo, welcome back to the show. Banana on the go. Just waiting on orders, just chilling. We got Chili. He's making a new phone call, something about a petition. I didn't listen to it yet. I kind of listened to like maybe 10 seconds, and I was like, whatever it is, we'll listen to it together. It'll be a good, fresh reaction. Plus, I'm just waiting on orders. If my phone rings, you hear a beep, 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 or whatever, then that means it's time. Oh shit, some dude just rode by on rollerblades. That was random. Anyway, let's start the show.
Hello world, today is May 18th, 2024. My name is Chili Decastro. I'm a journalist who's been wrongfully convicted and locked up in the Clark County Detention Dungeon in Nevada. I'm an innocent man who's been put in jail for filming a cop, and that is the extent of any so-called crime. It's absolutely preposterous that I'm in here, and while I'm in here, you're going to be led by people who are going to mislead you.
I think if they're gonna mislead you, you should say how right here. Like, how are they gonna mislead them? Where are they gonna say you're lying about? And, yeah, go from there.
People are going to try to scare you and say things that simply don't have any constitutional merit or value. They just don't.
Okay, so the things you're in jail for are unconstitutional, and you again won't say why. They're just not. They just don't hold weight, or they don't got merit behind them. Whatever it is, they just don't. You won't say why they don't, but they just don't.
So I've asked the people to petition the court, and as you should, I have a hearing coming up for the appeal brief that's going to be on July 10th, 2024 in front of Michelle Levitt. Judge Michelle Levitt. The court should be petitioned to release me and to grant my petition to be released. It's called an appeal petition. So that's what it is. Everything filed in the court is a petition or a writ. And anybody who tells you you cannot petition the court is a charlatan, and they're misleading you. You know, I can sit here and tell you that the world is going to turn to mush tomorrow, and then I can sit and give you the validation as to the reasons why the world is going to turn to mush tomorrow. And it can make perfect sense to you. Just like Don LaPree's multi-million-dollar real estate deal. If you buy his videos, you're going to be a millionaire in the real estate market. You remember Don LaPree? And he sat up there, and how many millions of dollars did Don LaPree make, telling you, if you get my system, you're going to be a millionaire next year. Just follow my steps, and you're going to be a millionaire too. And so someone can sit up there and say, I'm credentialed, and I know. Well, let me give you just a little bit of a rundown on the history of petitioning in America. July 14th, 1798, President John Adams signs the Sedition Act that says that any sort of obstructing of federal law or for publishing malicious or false writing about the government or the military will get you locked in jail. The Sedition Act does not last. It's going to fall because it's illegal. The First Amendment gives you the right to petition, and I'm calling for you to petition the court to release me because it's perfectly legal to petition the court. July 29th, 1835, an entire boatload of abolitionist material goes from New York down to South Carolina in Charleston. What do? They burn it. They burn all the abolitionist material. That's on July 29th, 1835. Well, then on December 2nd, 1835, Andrew Jackson, in his annual address to Congress, calls for banning the petition of slavery literature. And then this is the big push right now to get slavery abolished in our country was in the early 19th century. So then on February 4th, 1836, the racist Senator John Calhoun says that it's not the right of the federal government to ban mailing petitions. It's up to state law. That state law can ban the mailing of petitions. This is the history of petitioning, and it's just not true. Then on March 9th, 1836, after two anti-slavery petitions are submitted to the Senate, John Calhoun from South Carolina, he proposes banning petitions about anti-slavery from the Senate from now and forever. Now, the Senate is going to strike that down, but the House has not heard the bill yet. And what are we talking about? We're talking about the House of Representatives in the United States government in 1836. Half of them are attorneys. May 18th, 1836, Henry Pinckney of South Carolina, he proposes the gag rule, that you ban all petitions petitions. All petitions, resolutions, memorials, propositions, or papers relating to the subject of slavery on the House floor. May 26, 1836, the House passes the gag rule that says you can't put any petitions into the House that have anything to do with interfering with slavery. December 27, 1836, John Calhoun from South Carolina argues that the states reserve the right to ban abolitionist petitions in order to prevent the federal government from becoming a vehicle of anti-slavery activity. Calhoun says that D.C. banning slavery is a direct assault on the institution of slaveholding states. Are you listening to what Calhoun is saying? That it's a direct assault on the institution of slaveholding states that you're going to petition and say that you can't have slavery. What about the slaves? Isn't it a direct assault on human freedom, on human dignity? So then February 14, 1838, John Quincy Adams, in protest of the gag rule, sent 350 anti-slavery petitions to the House of Representatives. 350 to the direct members of the House of Representatives, because John Quincy Adams has a right to petition the House of Representatives and tell them that slavery is an abomination and it should be banned. The House passed the gag rule on May 26, 1836. Well, then in 1838, February 14th, on Valentine's Day, John Quincy Adams sends in 350 anti-slavery petitions. August 18th, 1846, the Wilmot Proviso. David Wilmot submits petitions to the House. Slavery will be banned from any U.S. territory, including in the state of California. At this time, though, remember, California is not going to become a state until 1850. August 8, 1846, the Proviso document, he's saying that you can't have slavery in the U.S. territory called California. What is he doing? He's submitting a petition. February 15, 1847, anti-slavery forces in the House once again pass a measure in the House via petition to ban slavery in California. What are they doing? They're petitioning the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has already said they don't want to get a petition, but they got a petition anyway. It is your First Amendment right to petition the government to redress the government. September 20th, 1850, Congress bans slavery in the District of Columbia. How do they do that? Through a petition. A petition is submitted to the House, and then it is signed. Congress bans slavery in Washington, D.C. How do they do that? Through a petition. It's all about petitioning. June 15th, 1917, the Espionage Act that says if you say anything bad about the government, you're going to get a $10,000 fine and 20 years in prison. They're trying to shut down the press. They're trying to shut down petitioning. Throughout the history of our time, there were martyrs who stood on their rights for petitioning. Just so you know, Charles Sinek would go to prison, and in Sinek versus United States, the Supreme Court upheld the government's right to put him in prison for petitioning.
Yeah, this is part of Chili's manipulation tactic. He's like, oh, I'm like these people. I'm a slave, and these people, they don't want you to petition. Go challenge them. They're all against you. And it's like, no, Chili, they're not all against you, and nobody's trying to stop petitions or petitioning of the court. That has nothing to do with why you're in jail. You're not in jail for filming. So, I mean, the fact that you're saying that is just trying to manipulate the masses already.
They said if there is a clear and present danger to law and order, then your civil liberties can be curtailed. Your very first liberty at birth is your right to speak. You're born into the world screaming. June 28, 1940, the Alien Registration Act. All Japanese Americans on the West Coast are to be put in internment camps. That's a more direct assault on freedom. But I just wanted to go down a list of the history of petitioning in our country. And you have a right to petition. And you should petition the judge who's going to hear the appeal on July 10th. And you should petition that biased Judge Ann Zimmerman, who's unprincipled, who hasn't put anybody in jail for obstructing in the past 5 years that we know of. And she should be redressed by the people because what she did is abhorrent, unprincipled, and biased. And there's nothing wrong with telling her that. I will say it out loud 1,000 times. wrong with saying the truth to the government. Your voice cannot be silenced, or we do not have freedom. If you can't speak up against injustice, then what do you have? That is the definition of a tyrannical government. Listen, I'm a passionate person. I believe in everything that I'm saying because this is the law. These are the rules. Now, you can get a charlatan to stand up there and say, oh, I'm not against Chile, but I'm not for Chile either. I want everybody to listen to me. Remember what YouTube is about. Views, likes, and comments. That's what it's about. Everybody's in competition trying to get everybody to listen to them. That's the way it is. But they don't have a mission.
I mean, a lot of our missions, like, we all have separate missions, us trolls or whatever you call us. But like, all of our missions actually agree on one thing usually, and it's calling out and making fun of idiots like you, Chili. That's kind of why people focus on you. It's because you're manipulating the masses, and you're taking advantage of dumb people, basically. And if we expose that, it is rewarding to us. So it's like mentally rewarding and monetarily rewarding.
Our mission here at Team DLZ: overturn Terry versus Ohio, stand on our First Amendment right to petition, speech, press, and assembly. That's our mission here. And now I'm supposed to abandon the mission because you have some charlatans saying, oh, Chile could get charged with crimes because here's how the court could see it. Yeah, I can tell you right now, we could get hit by a comet next week. There's a comet coming through space, and let me tell you why. It's very probable that we could get hit by this comet tomorrow. And I could sit up here and give you all these different, charts and statistics and graphics and say, oh yeah, look at this. And oh, by the way, the world is flat. I can tell you 1,000 reasons why the world is flat. You ever watch a flat earth video? They'll sit there and convince you. By the time you're done watching, you'll leave it and go, man, you know what? There's got to be, it could be flat. And then there's this little science called trigonometry. And if you know anything about trigonometry, then you know the world cannot be flat. If you know anything about how satellites work around the world so you can watch MTV, then you know that the world could not be flat. That it would have to be a gigantic conspiracy by every single country in the world throughout the history of time to pretend as though you don't have to triangulate satellites so that you can get reception in Zimbabwe. That's how it works. Listen, am I allowed to say that I dislike the judge who was biased and unprincipled? Yes, I dislike that judge. I dislike her for cheating me. Yes, I dislike what she did. I'm allowed to say that. Now, I'm not going to threaten her. I'm not going to do anything that's illegal. I'm going to ask that the people petition the court and say that this is biased, unprincipled, and I shouldn't be in jail.
Well, I mean, if he's going to petition the court and he's one of the peoples, we should be able to petition the court to keep him in jail, right? Like, it's just our opinion. It's not like it actually bears anything other than the public sentiment for the judge to try to comprehend what we're all thinking and feeling. For every free chili, there would be like 2 lock him ups. I'm gonna make a shirt with Chili's face. It's gonna be like, lock him up. He's already in jail.
If you want to petition the judge who's going to hear the appeal brief on July 10th, you can petition that judge and say, Mr. Decastro should be let go. His sentence was ridiculous. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to petition the governor and say, release Mr. Decastro in the name of justice immediately, you can petition the governor. If you want to petition the biased, unprincipled Ann Zimmerman, you can petition Ann Zimmerman. And I will not get in trouble. Me calling for millions of people to petition anybody is not illegal, and I cannot get in trouble for it. No matter how much some suit and tie, some charlatan stands up there and tries to say, no, listen to me. Here's how the court could see it. Yeah, the world is flat, and Halley's Comet is going to flatten us all. And I can convince you of it if I just sit here long enough and say it enough times for you to believe it. But it's not true. And if that is the case, then I'll take the charges, I'll be a martyr, and I'll fight for my freedom, and eventually I'll get out of here, and I'll win millions of dollars because you have the right to petition. I have the right to call for petitioning. You understand? All right. I don't want you guys to be afraid, and don't listen to charlatans. Remember, while the real, genuine article is locked up in a dungeon, you're going to have fakes and frauds who try to take my place. That's a fact. The void has to be filled with something. I'm not there. So that's why these little, what do you call them, underground dwellers who crawl from underneath the rocks, they come out, and if they say my name, well, then people are going to listen to their channel. People are going to watch their channel. And what do they care about? That they get likes and views and comments. We are about mission over here. And one of our missions is our First Amendment right to petition, press, assembly, and speech. Do not allow your speech to be turned off because of a charlatan. Chili's going to be charged with crimes if you send in a petition. No, I'm not. I am not. That's not true. That's a lie. Send in your petition. Thanks for supporting me and getting me through it. And I only have 50 days, a little more than 50 days, until the appeal brief is going to be heard in front of Michelle Levitt. You should petition the court and say that I should be released and that my appeal brief should go through and the case should be overturned and that you're a concerned citizen. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal, and I'm not going to get in trouble for it. It's just not going to happen. So, and if it does happen, then we'll deal with it. But I'm not going to shut off my speech, and I'm not going to shut off my right to petition to redress government. And you should not either. No matter who tells you they know better, they don't. All right? I got to go. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys on the next one. Love you. Later, Gators.
Alright, well, we'll wrap that up there. I hope you guys found that somewhat interesting. Chili's calling for us, the people, to petition the courts. I don't say, like, what you should say when you petition the courts, because, you know, that's up to you guys if you choose to do it, but, he wants people to send him letters and petition the courts, and I think you should, because it'll be funny. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm probably gonna do another one of Chili's calls. So, I'll see you guys over there. Peace.